Hello everyone. I thought I'll start off my BMB series with a New Year's Eve look. Most of us this time are partying either at our home or through Zoom, so that requires a different kind of makeup. You don't want to wear a full face of makeup at home because that just wouldn't look good in person. So I want to show you a very simple look using just your BMB products, and we'll see how we can have fun with these and create a basic, elegant makeup look for your New Year's Eve. Keep watching. As usual, we're going to be starting off with the eyebrows. So I'm just going to be using the spoolie brush to comb my eyebrows upwards, and then using just one product, that's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Liquid Tinted Brow Gel in the shade Ebony, and I'll be using this to comb the eyebrows upwards, focusing more on these areas, these corners where I want more deposition of color. Next, I'll be doing my eyes. I'm using this Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette that I told you about. It's a very neutral eyeshadow palette that contains many versatile shades. You can just have this one palette and be done with it. And I don't want to be having a dark look on the eyes because it wouldn't translate well on Zoom. The cameras will pick up a very dark pigment around your eye and just make it look smaller. So we want to go for something brightening, something shiny. So I'm just first using this orange soda shade as an all-over transition shade, using the brush that came with the kit. And then using the same brush, I'm going to dip into the shade Sienna, which is a slightly darker brown, and I'm going to be placing this in the crease very lightly, just to give the eye some definition, some contour, and then lightly buffing it through. Buffing it through. If you wish, you can use the other flat side of the brush into glistening, just to add some sparkle onto the eyelid, but this is really not necessary. You can just leave it as is. Given it's New Year's and you want a little sparkly look, you can just place this color onto your eyelid. Now, if you don't want to do eyeshadow, or you don't have this palette or any other neutral eyeshadow palette, you can just completely skip the eyeshadow part and go in straight to the liner. So today I'm going to be using the NYX eyeliner pen to do a winged eye, and this will be a classic winged eye red lip look for your little black dress. You can wear it with a shiny dress, it doesn't matter, as long as your eyes are defined. It'll look really good on camera and also be quite simple in person. So I'm going to do this winged eye look, and I'm going to look straight in the mirror, follow the curve of the bottom eyelid, and then just trace a line towards the edge of my eyebrow. And then from its third corner, from its third edge, I'm gonna drop that line towards my eye, and I'm just going to be filling in this space. And now I can work on perfecting the edge, which is really hard to do when I'm holding up a mirror with the other hand. Okay, there. And I'm gonna go back in onto the inner corner of the eye, just thicken that line a little bit. I'm gonna use the same eyeliner pen to go down on the bottom side of the eye as well, just to give that elongated shape. And you want to make sure you're getting in between the lashes I'm going to finish the eyes off with some mascara as usual. I'm going to be using quite a bit of it to open up the eye, both for the camera and for the glam. And as usual, I'm placing the mascara one right at the bottom of the lashes and rolling it upwards to give you that curl and that opening effect. You always want to make sure you're looking down when you're applying mascara so that you don't get it on the top of your eyelid, and also to ensure you get as close as possible to the underside bottom of your lashes. Now we're done with the eyes. Moving on to the face, I want to make sure we are glowing as it's New Year's Eve and we do want a glam look. So I told you, you might want to get a brightening product like the Laura Mercier foundation primer, the Radiance one, or some sort of radiance drops that you can put on your face as well as mix into your foundation. So I'm trying this new Glossier Future Dew Oil Serum Hybrid. I just wanted to try this product and I got a little sample of it. So I'm going to be taking this and applying it all over my cheeks. Depending on your face, you might want to make sure you're not applying it in any areas where you already have discoloration or anything you want to hide. So for me, I'm going to apply directly onto my cheeks. I'm going to avoid my forehead and nose as well because they naturally get oily. I'm just dabbing this in with my hands. You want to make sure you're putting it on your neck as well, do not forget. And this automatically gives you shiny, glowy face without you having to do a lot. Okay, I don't think I like this Future Dew very much. I don't particularly notice any glow on my face. So I'm going to go back to the Laura Mercier Radiance Primer I've got here. And do the same thing. I'm going to dab it into my face, primarily my cheeks, with just my hands. Yeah, I definitely like this one better. Next, I'm going to correct and conceal. So correct and conceal, as you can see right now, thankfully, my face is not doing anything crazy like breaking out just now. So all I have to do is fill in those areas of darkness with the concealer and blend that part out. Now, if you have old acne scarring, like I said, you could have purple or brown scars. You should try and use a yellow corrector for that. Or if you have really dark under eye circles, then you can use a peach or a red color corrector. So for the sake of showing you, I'm going to apply this really light concealer on the spots where I have some darkness to enhance how I color correct these areas. So I'm going to be placing a really tiny amount directly from the spatula on these areas, and I'm also going to be using just a little bit here and maybe here. Okay, primarily around the mouth area, and I'm going to just leave that there. I'll then go in with my concealer primarily for the under eyes, and I'm using the Starter Shape Tape Glow Wand, which conceals as well as brightens, and I'm going to put it here in the inner corners of my eye as well as under my eyes, of course. Again, I'm just applying directly from the spatula onto those areas where I want to conceal. I'm also going to be using this in the areas where I've done some color correction, but again, I'm going to be using a very tiny amount. Then I'll take a damp beauty blender or a sponge, whatever you have. Make sure it is damp because you want to wet it and then squeeze out all the water, and that's how you'll get this enough dampness for the sponge. You don't want to use a dry sponge. And then just blend all these things together. And I'm using this sort of punching in motion, not dragging anything, especially under the eye. You want to make sure you're being careful so as to not disturb what you've already done. And here you can just drag it a little bit to make sure the product is uniformly distributed. But that's it. I mean, everywhere else you just bounce, bounce, bounce. And just like that, you have a beautiful glowing face without the need for foundation. Because you're not wearing heavy makeup or heavy foundation, this would look good even in person when you're meeting your guests if you're having a house party. And because you're not going out and probably not wearing a mask, and if you're having a virtual party, you're definitely not wearing a mask, you can get away with wearing a bright lipstick. You don't have to worry about transfer onto the mask, you don't have to worry about any of that. So I'm going to use a bright red lipstick because you do want that super glam effect. So I'm using this MAC red lipstick and just putting it on. First doing my corners to get the shape that I want. I'm just following my natural lip line here. And then just fill it in. And just like that, you look ready to party, even though you don't have a ton of makeup on. But I do want to take this one step further, so I'm going to go back to the L'Oreal Mercier foundation primer, the brightening product, whatever you're using, and I'll be taking that directly onto the damp sponge on a flat surface like this one, on a flat side, just squeezing a little bit directly onto the sponge. And I'm going to be using this to highlight my cheekbone, so I'm just going to be placing this on the cheekbone. I'll show you the side where you can see how it reacts to the sunlight. And I'm going to tap that in. So you can see that shiny highlighted cheekbone. And you can do the same thing on the other side. And that's all. Just like that, you're ready for the party. You have a fresh, glowing face. You do have a dramatic eyes that'll show up really well on camera, and you've got the red lips that'll show brilliantly on camera for your virtual parties. And even if you have a house party and people are seeing you in person, you look really fresh and glowy without having a ton of makeup. So thanks for watching. I hope you use this look. Happy New Year. Bye-bye.